Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, follows a young man with amnesia who is the final surviving child of Elm Street. He ends up in a mental hospital and learns that the head nurse there also suffers nightmares at the hand of Freddy, and they both go on a quest to discover their connections to him. So this film was directed by Rachel Talalay and it stars Lisa Zane, Robert Englund, Sean Greenblatt and Yaphet Kotto. This movie is a disgrace. I hate this movie. Freddy's Dead is one of the most abysmal movies that I have ever seen in my life. It takes one of the most iconic and one of the best horror villains to ever grace the big screen and turns him into a depressing joke. Fuck this movie. And as much as I hate to do this, as much as I just want to shred this movie a second asshole, I do have to acknowledge a couple of good things about it. First of which being the hearing aid kill, which is actually quite nasty. I think the way the hearing aid attaches to his head and starts to kind of morph into his skin is really nasty. I like the way that it's kind of a silent sequence as well, and Freddy doing a lot of miming. That's pretty cool. And I really like the way his head blows up. I think that's cool as well. It's definitely nowhere near one of the best kills in the franchise, but it is a solid kill. Now, in a movie that is basically nothing but shitty gag after shitty gag for 90 minutes straight, they don't have a 0% strike rate. There are 2 gags in this movie that are intended to be funny and made me laugh.
Carlos! I asked you for the map.
What? Yeah, well, the map says we're fucked.
He's not gonna get me again. Nothing is gonna make me get off this bed.
And finally, there is one part that made me unintentionally laugh. And that is the part when the stoner guy is being played like a video game. And they find him and he's standing still, but he's being hopped around the room and with the stupid sound effects and he keeps bouncing into the roof. It's supposed to be a serious part where it's like, you know, he's actually losing control of his body and being thrown around the room by Freddy, but it just looks stupid, and I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. It was dumb. I just have to mention it here because I did get some entertainment value out of that scene in particular. Anyway, that's it for the good stuff. Let's get into beating the living fuck out of this piece of shit. And the main thing that pisses me off the most about this clusterfuck of a movie is just the complete and utter lack of respect that it shows the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It takes Freddy Krueger, arguably the most iconic horror villain of all time, alongside Michael and Jason, and it turns him from this scary, menacing figure that murders you in your sleep to a Tom and Jerry villain. He would be lucky to be a villain on Tom and Jerry. He is that stupid in this film. And it just completely basically says, haha, remember Freddy Krueger? Yeah, fuck him and fuck all of you fans. It takes everything that we know and love from those previous films and just turns it into something unrecognizable. And that is unforgivable to me. Like, the fact that this feels like a legitimate attempt to kill this franchise forever and just put a bad taste in audiences' mouths just so that they don't have to make any more of these films because their box office results were declining. That really pisses me off. The fact that you would sabotage art just because it's not doing well business-wise. And I'm just theorizing, just looking at the box office charts, I'm guessing that that's what the people behind this film are doing. And that's just depressing, and that fucking annoys me. Freddy in this film looks horrible. I mean, horrible. And he is terribly written. He is never funny. He's never scary. He's pathetic. His backstory sucks. Everything about Freddy in this film is horrendous. To call him a parody of himself would be giving him too much credit. He is a disgrace. And all of the other characters suck. They are the worst characters in this entire franchise. Tracy is so angry and so annoying and just snaps at everything. Lisa Zane's character, I don't know what movie Lisa Zane thought she was in. I don't know what they were thinking about giving Freddy Krueger a daughter. Just what? Spencer is so annoying. He takes one hit of the doob and all of a sudden his TV is talking to him. And it's just like, what? And to add salt to an open wound, none of the characters are even performed well. The acting all sucks.
Freddy's dead.
And even Robert Englund, like, there's a scene where he's got those stupid fish demons that he's making a deal with, and it's just like, he has this line where he's like, I want it all! And it's like, what are you doing? There is no distinguishable story here. There is no way to tell what's a dream and what isn't, because things happen in real life, and then the characters fall asleep, and then things happen in their dreams, but then the story carries on from where their dream ended, and it's just like, what? What the fuck? There is nothing about this film that makes sense. There is not one thing that you go, oh yeah, okay, I see what they're doing there. And the story and what happens, you are left with so many questions, and so many of those questions actually diminish the films that came before, which, again, cardinal sin. Just like with Nightmare 4 killing off Joey Kincaid and Kristen. Don't ever make the previous films worse in your sequel. How is there still an Elm Street kid that is alive that we didn't hear about for 5 movies? Why was he not killed? What did Freddy want with his own daughter? Does Freddy have the power to see the future? Because apparently this John Doe was sent in as like a protector to stop something or someone from happening? And if so, how did Freddy not see his own death at the hands of his own daughter? Has not one outsider come into Springfield this whole time? That was a pretty damn well populated town. It had its own police station and everything, and it wasn't a small police station. It had its own police station, it had its own high school. Have people just not gone past there at all? Does Freddy have them under a spell? What's he doing with them? He's not killing them. What is going on? Speaking of Springfield, the whole town looks like a set. It looks like they had a square, and then they had some pop-up buildings, and then when they actually went into the buildings, they just stood on a fucking soundstage, which I'm sure is exactly what they did, and I'm sure they did that for the rest of the films too. The problem is they made it look convincing. In this one, it literally just looks like you could almost basically see the barrier surrounding the film set. Like, that is how bad this is. You can't actually, but you can basically tell where it is. Like, this whole place is a square. No one in the effects department showed up. Like, some of the demons, like those fish demons, whatever the hell was going on with those, I will never know, and I don't want to know. Other effects, like the green screens when Spencer's thrown into the TV with Johnny Depp and is being treated as a video game character, like, that looks horrendous. Why is the lighting so bad in some parts? Why can you not see shit at times? What is with some of these editing transitions where it goes all staticky and weird and shit like that? It just gave me a headache and a migraine. What is with the fade to blacks at the end of scenes? Sometimes it just like kind of like trails out as they're talking. It's just like, what? What is happening? Why is no one shown up to set? They must have been, as I said at the start, they must have been trying to kill this franchise for good. So overall, this is a horribly made film with almost no redeeming qualities. From the acting, to the editing, to the sound design, to the production value, to the scares, to the horror, to the gags, to the characters, to the story, to the anything in this film. It all sucks. This movie is an abomination. Freddy's Dead is fucking terrible. Thank you so much for watching my review of Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Let me know what you think of this film in the comments. And I'm glad that we're doing New Nightmare next, because I really like that movie. I'm actually going to rewatch it tonight for this review series, which I've been watching the whole franchise through. So, yeah, I also rewatched Freddy's Dead, which is just... I can't believe I'm saying that, but I did. But yeah, I'm keen to talk about New Nightmare. I'm tired. I've got a headache now. I don't want to ever think about this movie again. I'll see you all later. Bye.